It's Stevie P in the place to be, fresh out of cold shower. And I got some ideas in there that I want to talk about because, as everyone knows, the shower is the ultimate idea generation machine. And what I want to talk about is getting out of your head and into your body. Along my journey, this journey of consciousness or spiritual growth or whatever you want to call it, whatever label you want to use. Basically, since I started on that journey, ironically or paradoxically, I've gotten more into my body. So you would think that people that are into like meditation and yoga and like consciousness and spiritual stuff, like hippie new age type of things, you'd think they're just like floating around in the ethers and like not even grounded in reality. But I found my experience, at least, and I can't speak for anyone else, so I'm speaking from my direct experience. My experience has been the opposite. I've been more grounded into my body. And because of that, I've been more connected intuitively or to some higher dimension or higher power, whatever you want to call it. I've been more connected. And at the same time, more rooted in my body and more rooted in the physical world too. So it's kind of paradoxical, but that's been my experience. And before my journey, I was more in my head. And we all are to some extent, but until you really start seeking consciousness or spiritual growth, whatever those terms, you basically just live here in your head. And that's where, I'm generalizing here, but that's where a lot of people were at because I know that's where I was at. So we tend to live in here. That's what our society conditions us. That's the world view that we take on, that we inherit, that we're programmed. That's the way that we're programmed and conditioned to view the world, to decode the world, is through here. And I was doing that for a long time, and I still fall into it sometimes. But when you're only in your head, you're basically living in abstraction. You're only living through abstract concepts, and you're living in the past or the future and missing out on the present moment. So you're not mindful of your body. You're not mindful of your senses. You're not mindful of the present moment, but you're lost in your head. You're lost in these abstract concepts or thinking about the past or the future. And that's a trap because it makes you miserable. Whenever you're in the moment, so whoever you are, you've been in that state, in that flow state where you're completely immersed in the moment. Maybe it's playing sports. Maybe it's watching a sunset. Maybe it's, I don't know, taking a walk outside or riding a roller coaster. Anything like that, when you're completely in that flow state in the moment, the bliss is just indescribable. But then when you're like anxiety-ridden or worried and lost in thought and thinking too much, you feel miserable. And that's the state that most people are in. Like, it's a world of abstract concepts. It's a world of abstraction. So I keep doing this. That's crazy. To be up in here all the time is crazy. And yeah, that the real world that people talk about, it's merely a conglomeration of abstract concepts too. Like, if you think about what laws really are, laws are just things written on a piece of paper. They're just a concept. But it's only through the belief in it that people actually carry out the physical parts of the law. But it's just a concept, essentially. And all these things that we have that we call the real world are concepts. They're abstractions. And it's highly beneficial to get more into your body and in the moment because that's where the magic is. That's where the insight, the intuition is, the joy, the peace. Everything that we're searching for externally, essentially, we think we can buy our way there. You know, if I have the right house or the right spouse, or I'm rhyming here, or if I have like the fancy car or whatever, or if I travel the world, then I'll find that. But here's the little secret. It's always there all the time, that state of bliss and peace. You just have to get out of your head and tune into your body. And I'm not saying to neglect your brain. Of course not. but it's to get more into your body and take your brain along for the ride. Because you gotta use logic and be analytical, of course, too. But it's one aspect of who we are. So how to get more in tune with your body and more aware of your body and the moment. The biggest thing, and this is probably what I'll leave you with, because there's so many ways to do this. I'll give you two, actually. One is working out, mindfully working out. Any kind of exercise where you're mindful. So I'm not talking about watching a TV screen while you're on the treadmill. I'm talking about something like yoga or working out while being super mindful of what your body's doing and your muscular contractions and things like that. Like, I work out with weights about 5 days a week, and I'm super, super mindful and in the moment when I do it. And it's really enjoyable, and I become more in tune with my body each session. I'm able to notice the signals and the signs that it gives me. And that's crucially important, because most of us, being so up here, are numb to what's going on in our body. That's how you see things like, it seems like nothing's wrong with someone, and then the next day they drop dead of a heart attack. It's because they're completely numb to the signals in the body. The body's always giving us signals, but most of us are not in tune with it. We are completely numb to the effects and living in our head. So we're going, in that case, you just ignore until something crazy happens, and then boom. And it seems like it came out of nowhere, but really the signs were just being ignored, or you were numb to the signs. So it's crucially important to get in tune with your body and the sensations and all of that kind of stuff. So along with working out, the second thing is meditation, any type of meditation. A meditation could even be walking outside and being mindful of your environment and getting in tune with your senses as you walk, because senses are a big thing that really gets you in the moment. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? Hear the noises that you usually tune out, smell, all that stuff. That really brings you into the moment and into your body, and it gets you out of that crazy monkey mind of yours that we all have. We all have a crazy monkey mind. So, and then regarding meditation, daily practice, that's crucial. Having a regular meditation practice helps so much. So it's more beneficial to meditate for 5 minutes a day than it is to meditate for 30 minutes once a week, or not at all. And meditation doesn't have to be overwhelming or time-consuming either. That's why I developed a system that I called 7-Day Meditation Challenge, where you just use the snooze time of your alarm clock to meditate. So it could be really, really, really easy to implement a regular meditation, and it doesn't have to be something overwhelming. Everyone knows how to meditate. If you're a human, you've meditated before. So you don't have to be some like guru or some yogi in the Himalayas, or you don't have to have like crystals and stuff like that like hippies have. Anyone can do it anytime, anywhere. It's really easily accessible, and I developed a system to make it easy. It's the easiest way to start meditating on a daily basis, and you will reap the immense benefits of meditation. So I'm going to put a link to it in this video. So make sure to check out that link, and yeah, check out the 7-Day Meditation Challenge and get out of your head and into your body. That's where the magic happens. All right? Peace, peace, much love, and one love, baby.